early.
What's good, folks?
Yeah.
Appreciate you tuning in to another episode of Early.
Real early, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Special guest in the house with
Definitely
us.
got a special guest.
ARad, how you living, man?
What's good, bro?
Man, good to be
AD,
here
producer
with y'all,
extraordinaire, man. You know,
Good
we
to be here with y'all.
appreciate you pulling up, man. You know, one thing that we always like to do before we get into shit, man, we like to let people know, give it like a little introduction to who you are, you know what I'm saying, what you be on, and, you know, we let the conversation flow from there.
Oh, well, I'm Adam ARad from the DMV area. I'm a first AD, assistant director on movie sets, getting into producing now also. Yeah, man, I've been doing this for a while. I'm known in the area for AD.
Yeah.
Being a hard ass on set, but everybody that know me know I love making films and I love the camaraderie that's built on sets, man. So yeah, that's who I am, man. Adam ARad.
You know, it's crazy. Like when people talk about, you know, the spaces that they occupy, one thing I always think is like, is this something that you always had intentions of doing for yourself, or it was a matter of, bruh, just, you know, along my life, I just kind of went down these paths, and I was like, damn, like I find myself doing work on sets and shit like that. So maybe this is the lane I need to be in.
It's real interesting. I always joke. My real name is Adam Daniel.
Okay.
And I tell people I was created to be an AD because of my initials. I truly feel that way. Like,
Nah, facts.
man, I always wanted to make movies. Since I was a kid, I was making movies in my head. But to be quite honest, like, my mind hadn't expanded to the level that, hey, you can do this.
Right.
So it was a thing where, like, gradually through life, man, I was a trapper first. I didn't even go to college until my baby mother made me go to college. She said, you too smart to. So,
Look
you
how
know,
real that is, though,
Yeah,
man. You know,
that's
not
facts.
everybody,
That's
made, you know.
That's
when I
facts.
first got into school, I actually was a political science major.
Word.
That was my first passion. Like, I was one of those kids that would wake up Sunday morning and just make me a burger and just watch Meet the Press.
Word.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I always was. So I always
That's
thought
right.
this is what I have to do.
Right.
Actually, when I first went to college, I was the SGA president at my first college I went to as a sophomore. The school's no longer around, but it used to be called Southeastern University
Word.
over in Southwest D.C. So I was always into politics, but as I transferred schools, I went to Maryland, and then it just introduced me to film. I just took a film class, and it was like one of them things that's just destined, because I took the class, a documentary class, and it was like, you know how you just going along your path, and then you just like,
Now,
Something just clicks like,
This is
oh,
it.
this. It's like you become interested beyond the point of even like realizing how enthralled you're in with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you're just paying attention to it. Any information you can learn about it, you want to learn about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very interesting when you're in that mode of feeling like you found something that's like you're meant to be also doing. You know what I'm saying?
it's like one of them things where you feel like you're not. Well, it's like a thing of you remembering something like, oh shit, like this is
right.
This was implanted in me, like this is
A long
I'm
time ago.
supposed to-
I've seen this
Yeah,
before.
I'm supposed to do this.
It's like I've
it's
seen this
you
shit
just
before.
Doing the class and then just end up. I was good at it, man. I ended up taking those classes for 2 years because Maryland never had an official film program. It was
Word.
like film studies.
I'm sure that's different now.
It's different now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's different now. But
Right.
I was back like
Right.
2012 or so when I
Okay.
was in school. So, you know what I mean? I used to just help the teacher, end up teaching classes or helping them out. Like,
Lit.
it just started doing it.
You know, it's so crazy when we talk about like making that like aha moment. I remember even back myself in ironically 2012, right after high school ended. You know, I'm at Montgomery College, and me and my boys like we want to start a clothing line. Like soon enough, you know, while we marketing and stuff like that, we're like, damn, we can't keep paying for like these commercials and photo shoots.
Yeah.
So we gotta get a camera. You know, so we invest in the camera. I get the camera. Now we able to do our shoots on all that on our own. But literally over time, what I start realizing when I have this camera is now people are asking me for other types of jobs, other types of things. That
Niggas
have
hitting
nothing
you up to like do
with-
shit for them.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what also happens, which really now sets it off, is like I grow up consuming. I love film. I love these movies. I grew up watching. You know, before the game come on the TNT, you got a movie on, or the TBS or anything like that. And I was like, wait, this is the tool that's used for all this shit
For
that
everything.
I consume.
Yeah.
Now it might not be the specific camera, obviously,
yeah,
but I'm like,
facts.
damn. okay, so that's when I started getting a perspective. You could be behind the scene, and then that's when I think I first was like, yo, I don't have to be a consumer. I can also create, and
You
that
can
shit was
make
really
shit.
powerful.
Facts.
Like, that was a really powerful feeling right there.
You can make shit, and then you can shape shit in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can set up shots to make to show exactly what you want to show. You know what I'm saying? So like, in a sense, you could tell any story you want to tell. Like that. Like,
and that's
filmmaking is very powerful.
Hey, bro, it's the most powerful. Coming up, I've heard people say music is the most powerful influential medium. It's up there, but man, if it's not images, I don't know what it is. Because for years, man, black people, specifically American black people, have had their image displayed for them to the world, which is why people who never even met us before come from across the seas with an idea of us before they even get here, because of the image that's been shipped around, and we haven't even controlled our own image. So I think it's another a gift of this being my passion, because I mean, when I first did my short film, and this is my first movie ever, something intuitive.
Wait, before, and I didn't even interrupt, but you say your short film, like, when is this? How far after school is this? When you like, yo, I'm shooting my own short film?
It just happened.
Okay.
Like, I end up. It was not too long, maybe a couple years after school. You know what I mean? To be quite honest, I never graduated because I just got so busy working. Man. I got an internship with a crew by the name of Cool Kids Forever Films. That was started by legendary Tabby Bonet, Six Shooter, and my OG Baki Thomas. Like, they were doing music videos for Fat Trail, Wale,
Parachute, Put Me in the Pocket, man. These are classics.
They were a part of the early movement. And when I was in college, man, I used to watch them. Like, man, telling myself one day I'm gonna work with these dudes. Like, I looked up to them, and then I got an internship, and the rest was history, man. I learned, to be quite honest, man, respect to the schools I went to, but I learned more from them brothers actually actively doing it than I would ever learn from college. I often tell them, man, I need to get y'all that 80 G's I owe for student loan.
Man, hey, yo, that shit crazy. Yeah, you know, it's funny because, Mac, I feel like what's so interesting about your path as well is, like, your whole schooling had nothing to do with your production. What you doing now?
Facts.
Like, all of this shit. This is like,
that's facts.
You had to get into it.
I studied biology in college. Like,
oh, wow.
Didn't even, But to your point about working is the most, like, powerful thing you could do, because you realize that, oh, like, I can do this, and I can learn it as I do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. Experience is the best teacher. Like, you could tell me all kind of theories in the damn book in school, but, like, bro, when you out there, like, and you actually applying it, it's the real deal. It's a thing that in the film community, man, like, you'll have a lot of professors, man, that teach you a lot in school, man, but they ain't never actually did this shit. A lot of them, man. It's like you can just tell, like, because even when you're doing your projects, that they don't have, some of them, man, they don't have that courageousness that you would have from being like somebody's actually doing that shit.
Right.
You can't do this. You can't do even though they know everything.
Like, that's not how it's done, or like
Paint
that's
inside
not,
the lines.
yeah.
You know that. So it's like one of them things that with however you feel about it. Lil Wayne said, I think in one of his rhymes, like, bend the rules, learn to bend the rules, so you can break them. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? But you won't know that until you actively doing it. Like, so experience was my best teacher when it comes to film.
100%.
That's true.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, to go back, you know, into the path, you know, so when is it that you get your internship at Cool Kids? Like, what's the first project that y'all get into? But you know what I'm saying? Or the shit where you're like, damn, like,
oh man,
this is tight.
Everything in my life, I just feel like, man, I just been blessed and just got it. Like, I may, it don't sound cliche to me, and I don't care who it sound cliche to, but I've been got it. Because even when it comes to the Cool Kids thing, like I said, I was watching them from afar. One of my college best friends had a best friend. My friend had a friend named Toba Ray. Okay. She was a model for Cool Kids. And I ended up, like, doing something. She was a model / rapper, like a real artist.
Right.
And I did some video work for her one night, and I told her I submitted myself for Cool Kids as an internship. And she kept it real when she said, Adam, you know, it's a lovely company, but when you get with them, if you get with them, just remember to always keep the art. And I was debating on whether I should do it. And she was like, looked at me in my eyes. She was like, you should do that shit. And I did it, right? And I was like, all right, bet. A couple weeks later, they sent me up for an interview, you know, and this is like 2011. an interview at their office at the time on Massachusetts Avenue, and I got hooked up to be an intern. I was a PA for them for several years. The projects, man, we always work on projects. The first project I think I worked on was like a fashion shoot for a company by the name of Models Inc. It was all the way out Largo, at one of the PG County, like, you know, fancy art houses or whatever. I mean, it was amazing because when I arrived at the at the lighting house, the rental house, man, it was like the first person there was my man Jay Gregory, who I had watched his videos like coming up through college, and he's like, "What's up, man?" Smoking a cigarette in the back, like, gave me that, and you know, that not in the fanboy way, but keeping it real, like you respect people you fuck with.
Yeah,
like,
facts. Everybody got somebody that's like low key to the world, but that's like big time to you. You know what I'm saying?
My homeboy 6 Shooter, when I saw his tall ass, I was like, man, nigga, you did all the Table Nate videos, like, bro, you know this video such and such, you know, like this video that's like Soup, Nothing But a Hero, all these videos that I looked up to, man. So that was my first shoot, and it really all just happened so fast, man. I just ended up working with them from 2011 up to now, like.
And like when you doing like the role of a PA, are you shadowing all these other roles while you on set and getting a better feel of what it is that you would maybe want to do after? Because like you doing AD and producer work, but that's like, you know, you gradually grow into that. So how'd you know you wanted to be in that position? Like you like, yo, I'm actually like producing this shit or actually really creating this content, or is this something that people are like, yo, we feel comfortable with you, you should lead the helm?
Well, to answer the question of succession, I think that everybody starts, for the most part, even if everybody should start off as a PA.
And I speak on that for sure.
PA is like, and I look at the camera, PA is the most valuable position on set to me, honestly, man. Like, producer, obviously, right? But producer is like the highest person at the on the totem pole and the lowest. Well, I don't even like to call it the lowest, but for the sake of the conversation, the lowest person on the totem pole is very highly important because those two ends, you know, like
you hold it up.
Foundational pieces, like PAs, man. Like, man, I love PAs and I love a good one, bro. Like, it's something about being so humble to be what they call a gopher, meaning go for this, go for that, but to know that like you love filmmaking so much that's
like valuable.
Yeah,
right? You know what I'm saying? Because you get to do a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? And learn. Yeah, go ahead.
No, my fault, good.
I was about to say just and learn a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, man, and if you're smart and perceptive, you'll sit back and learn everything. And it's a true statement when they say, man, it takes every good leader is a good follower. Because, bro, I'm telling you, you see me as a PA, man, like I was always told by the only female that was in Cool Kids, rest in peace. Her name is Dee Dee. Like, she's our angel, and she taught me so much when I first was an intern. She passed away around 2013, and she meant a lot to us, and she still does. She said, never sit down as a PA on set. She said, always, her main thing was energy. Always keep your energy up. And no matter where I went, whether it was a Cool Kids set or a corporate set or somebody else's music video film, man, I always stood at attention, ready to rock and roll. Like, I mean, bro, we make films. Like, it's an honor to be on set. So I always try to respect it. And, you know, even as a PA, man, it's the most important job.
Man, I'm glad that you even speak on that, because I feel like people got to understand how many roles contribute to a whole, right? So it's kind of like y'all enable, even as a PA, y'all enabling everybody else to also do their role to the most, like, effective ability. So not all pieces of a whole, you know, come together. So I definitely understand that. When do I say... How did you meet Cadell? How do we know? That's actually how I actually met you. To even begin
on
with.
Set,
Let's definitely come to like a humble beginning. So I met ARad on the set of Forgetting Christmas.
Forgetting Christmas.
You know, directed and written by Cadell Cook. And produced by Milan. Also produced
Milan was
as
one of
well.
Producers, Shonda McDonald.
Shout out Shonda. Yep.
Yeah,
but nah, man, that was really dope. How'd you even come on? How'd you, even get in touch with Cadell? Did he reach out to you? You already had a relationship?
That was our second or third project working together. How I met Cadell is funny, because I was producing Cool Kids, producing the Broccoli City Festival documentary.
Okay.
And the director, I'm not going to mention his name, he's my brother, and he knows the story is true, told me to hire Cadell, and then I hired him. Cadell at the time had a corporate job, so taking off was like...
That's the thing, right?
Yeah, but he took off. He was like, "You sure you're gonna hire me?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like 30 minutes later to 2 hours, my director called me back. Was like, yeah, go ahead. We don't need Cadell. I was like, bro, I just told him. So then I called him back and told him I couldn't hire him. Then one of my top producers calls me from like, hey, what you do to Cadell? Like, we need him. He one of the only black salmon in the area. Why'd you piss him off? You gotta make this right. So
Oh shit!
So I
Double back.
That's crud.
I called Cadell and I'm just like, bro, I'm sorry, man. I don't know what I could do. If you know Cadell, he just like, all right, man. I was like, what can I do? He's like,
What can I do?
I'm like, what can I do? He's like, I'm producing a short film. If you could produce it for me and help me out, that'd be nice. And I'm just like, fuck, man, all right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I always try to get my producer chops up. So we ended up producing this film that he wrote and directed called 4 Points. Which is
Okay.
actually on, I believe it's on Tubi. It was on Tubi before Tubi was even a thing. And man, Cadell can write his ass off.
Right.
I work with Cadell. I just talked to Cadell literally an hour
It'd be
ago.
so crazy because he would tell you firsthand he an audio guy. Like he'd be like, I'm audio, but he really
Nah, but
he
he
does
just-
sound, he do write it, and like really top tier. Like that shit really crazy.
4 Points went on to win several short film awards. We made magic together, and then we just worked together a lot since then. Whenever I'm free and ready, he calls me and I'm ready to work with him. That's how I met him. That's how we met.
Okay.
And it's so crazy when I showed up to set, because as an AD, I just read the script. I don't read the casting calls or nothing.
Right.
But it's always synchronicity involved. So I always, no matter what set, it's always something like, damn. So when I saw Dennis, the lead actor,
Right.
he was actually one of the leads in my first short film. I
Yeah,
ever
that's
made.
crazy. Full circle shit.
Yeah,
that's
he-
crazy.
So, I was like, I know it's gonna be a
So
good
first
time.
day of set, you like, yo, what? I
he
didn't believe
actually's in my fantasy football league.
Oh, we-
So we
That's
like-
But did y'all know y'all was going to be in the
No,
joint together?
No, it always happened like that with me and Dennis, and just me in general. I just show up to set sometimes, and right before I get there, I look at the call sheet. Well, I'm making the call sheet
Right.
the day before, and it's like, oh shit, this person's coming on set, like
Yeah.
this person. So
That's crazy.
that's how that went.
Are there any movies that you like learned from or studied in your process of learning how to make films?
You know what? That's a great question, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. I think the American public, the public in general, but especially American public, doesn't even know how much of the art and science of movies that they intuitively understand. We've been watching this shit our whole life.
Yeah.
So it's not one movie. It's just, the art of storytelling.
Yeah.
I have one of my best friends. We sit back and watch films, and no one can watch films with us because we just sit back like,
Right.
it's about to happen. And it doesn't make it a bad film because we can guess. Like, we love this shit.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
a real science. It's just like cooking, man.
Yeah.
It's an art and it's a science to that shit. Like, like
It's a
you can-
formula. You know what I'm saying?
formula,
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Of those two mixes up, and it's like, man. So I don't think it's like everybody has their top 5 films that they love that influenced them because of the reasons, specifically to them. But I just think that overall, man, just the art of storytelling has just always been with me, been with all of us. So I just learned from everything.
are there any other? Yeah. So like you saying everything. Are there any other like mediums where you appreciate how storytelling is done? Like whether it's like books or even like music, you know what I'm saying? Like an album or something like that, or a song, you know what I'm saying? Like, are there any other mediums that you like really appreciate where storytelling is done, or how storytelling is done?
Yeah,
music.
Being a kid in like the 90s, man, I love music, hip hop, storytelling. Like,
Yeah,
Like I was just like a kid in the candy store this last 2 weeks when this beef was going on because it was like,
yeah.
like me, I've been
Nah,
telling people,
yeah,
people
facts.
can vouch, man. Like as a fan of hip hop, man, like I've been telling people for years, like you don't hear them people beefing,
Right,
you don't
right,
hear the
right.
stories beneath
Yeah.
the tracks, they beefing, like you can't hear they beefing.
Yeah.
It's beefing in all kind of music forms. Like I was telling my girl the other day, like, do you know that Sweet Home Alabama is a diss song from Leonard Skinner to Neil Young?
Did it? No, didn't know that.
And then Neil Young goes back at them with Southern Man, like. So beef just don't happen in just rap. Like this is like so, but you won't know if you not listen to the story. So I think that, all mediums influence each other. Right? But like, if you asking me what besides film, what do I like storytelling?
Yeah.
It's like the Outkast, Andre
Yeah.
Slick, storytelling,
The art of storytelling, Biggie. You know what I'm saying?
Like music is.
Motherfucking Slick Rick with the like, you know what I'm saying? Even like Biz Marquee, like that whole like you got what I need. Like that's a story. That's a story. Yeah, a lot of those songs from like 80s, 90s, like a lot of the rap music, at least, were very like from beginning to end, the song was like one theme, one story. Now I feel like I just evolved into appreciating the music we have now, but like I really fuck with music from back then.
I mean, yeah, like one thing that I'll notice too, like even when I pull up on you sometimes, like your playlist would be like your set play, like you're like, this is my shit. Like
I listen to the same songs over and over.
100%, because I'll come through and might play some shit, you be like, who are these people?
Yeah, I be like,
no, I just don't know.
Yeah,
like, 100%.
A week.
That should be crazy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, damn, I just lost it.
I was gonna say, ARad, do you have any artists? Like, how do you feel about today's music? Like, how do you feel about music sub like 2018?
If I put it by, let me be a real nigga and actually do it. I'm not gonna play it out loud. I know y'all doing the podcast, but here we go. So you just know how I feel about music nowadays. Where's this library at for my Sirius XM? Most recent stations: Yacht Rock Radio and 90s R&B and Hit 2K. That's how I feel about music nowadays. I'm stuck in the fucking past.
Yeah, facts.
Bro, like people hopping my whip, man. I'm playing like my girl actually puts on her own headphones for her own music because I'm playing Yacht Rock,
man,
like soft rock, like literally. I'm gonna be real, man. Like 70% of the time, the other 20 is old school R&B from the 90s, and then like when I'm by myself, I listen to like sports radio and shit.
Nah, facts.
Right.
Soft rock is kind of hard though. Like I do like listening to soft rock. I used to work in when I worked in like offices, like I used to work in like a chiropractor's office and a physical therapy office.
Right.
And they would just play soft rock through the speakers. Like that shit would be catchy,
we
dog.
talk
like,
about like Oasis, Red Hot Chili
Peppers. Yeah. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Hall and Oates. You know what I'm saying?
Like, this is music.
I think like Hall and Oates and
I be jamming in my fucking car and shit like
Red Hot Chili Peppers is my favorite band. I just saw them band was last year.
And I bet they killed it still.
At the Nationals, bro. The best time of my fucking life.
That's crazy.
Sleep for like opening acts.
Yeah.
One time when I first started smoking, I remember fucking with my white boys. They brought me to this Nickelback concert.
Nickelback, you know what I'm saying? Nirvana, tough. You know what I'm saying?
Saving Abel, some shit like. I was like, bro. I was like, yo, this shit fucking hurt.
I was listening to that Alien Ant Farm, Smooth Criminal the other day. That is my shit, dog.
Nah, bro. Smashing Pumpkins.
We're going into like rock now, but like rock is hard too. You know what I'm saying? Like soft rock is hard, rock is hard. Like there's a lot of genres that got their joints, dog.
Now, ARad, you brought up a good point. You know, when you say like your girl, like she'll put the headphones on in the car. Like I find it funny because like I will be very conscious of like who ride with me. So I'll be like, yeah, I'll be like that aux DJ. Like
I want to put you on
some shit that we all gonna rock to. But really, if I'm really on some my shit, yo, we gonna listen to everything. Because when I'm by myself, I'm like, bro, like I listen to motherfucking Anita Baker, Sweet Love, and then I'll switch that shit to some Tony Snow, and then I'll switch that shit to some 50 Cent. I'm on the Get Rich or Die Trying, and then I'll bring that, like, bro, I'll be all over the place. I had to get
more diverse because this is a true story. I literally was listening to like 90% soft rock, and we went out of town for her birthday, and my girl liked to party, went to the club. And it was all these new songs I didn't know.
Right.
But it wasn't even that because I don't want to know the songs. But I really realized that I was trying to dance and I was like.
You missing the beat.
You got in the car said, hey, I got to stop listening to R&B.
Nigga couldn't even find his groove.
So much soft rock that my black ass loose.
He can't even find his groove, dog.
I ain't gonna lie, I was in that club like standing on God. I had to go to my default mechanism. I was just standing on Thug God.
Hey, that is hilarious. I got recalibrated again. That shit.
That genre of music I think is underappreciated. Or maybe it's not. I don't know because a lot of this shit is timeless. Like this shit still plays on the radio now. how. Like these niggas are still touring. These niggas are still touring these joints. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit is timeless.
Grateful Dead. Do you see these niggas?
Yeah. I feel like Kiss is still touring.
Oh yeah, Aerosmith. Fucking, what's the dude name?
Mick Jagger.
Yeah, Mick Jagger. Fucking what's another
Sting.
dude?
Sting is still out there.
Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen everywhere.
All of them still touring. Like
40
I said,
plus.
as long as it got soul, I'm there. If it got soul, and I fuck with it, man. Like my dad raised me off that old school music. Like it was
That's
my
dope.
mom with the R&B, the Luther. My dad with the Frank Zappa, the Steely Dan. Like, and then me with the West Coast rap. So it was like a meshing. But you know, as I get older, my spirit is more solid into who I am. Like I'm not gonna lie, man. Like if we get serious with it, that music that we listen to, man, it definitely, like I said, it's the one of the top 3 mediums that can influence you, and that music is heavy. Like
100%.
I mean, to be quite frank, we grew up in a time where we ain't had that many female rappers that was rapping this hard. Like
Right.
they was all off some other shit,
Right.
and then look at like
Yeah, the MC Lights.
Yeah, look at the effects of like you see like
inspired this.
the raps get this way, and you start looking at you can't. It's not all of us, but like it's a large portion of us that's like being affected by this music, man. So I try not to.
Oh, that's
Yo,
true.
yeah, man.
It does shape how people move. It just does, and it always has. You know what I'm
Always
saying?
has.
Always
but
has,
like
right.
it. And what's crazy is because the 90s, the early 2000s, the 80s, even it had its version of like raunchy rap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
But I do feel like because of the era that we're in, this era's version of like raunchy or whatever is. It seems like it's going like much farther.
Look,
you know what I'm saying?
you
Like
get
we've gotten
jaded
so
over the years, so you gotta keep
desensitized
pushing
that
the
like you
envelope,
got to keep
100%.
pushing the envelope like a little bit further and further and
Keep giving
further
the shock value
because
and all that.
there was like the 90s did have its version of like, you know, like songs that the generation that came before it was like, that shit's crazy. Like, what are y'all on? You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
I mean, yeah, you had those rapping songs too, but like it wasn't the mainstream. Now it's like the mainstream is the.
it was only mainstream because the only way you could hear it is if it was on the radio.
I feel
There was like now there's so many songs that and there's so many ways to listen to music that motherfuckers can listen to whatever they want to listen to.
But the one,
you know what I'm saying?
one
But there
thing
only used to be the radio.
I'd say one thing now is it's a trend now, where as opposed to be like, yo, that person is doing it, so like they're standalone. Like, damn, that's crazy. They coming like that, but it's like, word, they're coming like that. Now it's kind of like that's the standard.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
better come.
Yeah.
Like,
Or you're not
better come
we're not even going to hear you.
100%, and that's what sometimes it'd be interesting if you want to just look back and be like, yo, like, because now the way that it gets consumed, it's so right to
You know
you,
what?
instant.
And that's what the beef represented to me, right? Like, not in a sense of just these two dudes going at each other, but I think Kendrick stood for something else too. It's like, bro, that's a slap in the face, like a wake up. Like, bro, we've all been chilling, like listening to these songs, like listening to this shit, this BS, and knowing it's not real. But it's like we just got desensitized over the last decade to like just accept this fake shit.
And you
Yeah.
know what was so crazy too is like how in real time it was like a dialogue, right? Like,
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
joint drops. Everybody got their commentary.
Everybody got their commentary. And then another joint to drop.
And then not only commentary, think pieces.
Yeah.
Research. Everybody's
breaking
using
down
their brain
down the
like,
album art, you know what I'm saying?
And
Tying
then-
it into you know.
boom, the other side drop. Boom, we over here. Yo,
Yeah,
hold
yeah,
up.
yeah.
We gotta connect the dots. What were you saying?
The
Like, bro, it
speed
was
at
really-
which these tracks
it
was
was very
dropping
crazy to
after
see, yeah.
the speed at which these tracks were dropping after like the third one. Like there was like a Friday, Saturday where like 5 songs dropped. Like Friday and between a Friday and Saturday,
Take me
5
back.
songs dropped. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy.
And it's been such a long time since I've seen people treat music as an assignment. Like, yo, bro, did you listen?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's been a long time since, like, maybe, but to be honest with you, like, well, you know, maybe Ye might have definitely had a project like that or so. But I also remember, even like back in the day, you remember when Kanye, ironically, you remember the graduation versus Curtis. You remember that whole thing? That
Yeah,
was like
yeah,
a
yeah.
battle of the eras was changing.
Yeah.
Like 50 had it for
Yeah.
a minute, but like the youth was kind of like, bro, we kind of on this fly fashion
Yeah.
swag. We kind of We done with that type shit. And like, you know, he had the little AO technology, but kids are like, yo, we on this welcome to the good life shit. We on this smooth sound. And then and 50 is, you know, nigga like 50 be like, nigga, I'm going to the film.
Facts.
I'm not, 50 like, I don't play this like, yo, you got it. I see it. You got it. I'm gonna go over here and kill it. That shit's so crazy. How, you know, and that kind of even segues, right? How, you know, when I talk about 50, sometimes, you know, we have different lanes, we have different side missions, we have different endeavors and shit. You know, I'm sure like a lot of people got other interests than this fucking profession that they occupy. A lot of people don't know. I know that you also got, you know, your passion on the side with the dough burgers, you know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely interested to even know how that even came about, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, food is, you know, that's just some worldwide shit that bring people together, you know? Everybody can eat something and be like, yo, bro, this is something we could objective. This shit fucking fire. How you get into making burgers for the people?
Oh, man, I always been a cook. I actually went to a culinary school camp. I'm not a chef. I don't disrespect chefs, but my mom, you know, sent me to school 2 summers in a row to Philadelphia Art Institute, and that was some of my grounding. But I always liked to cook, man, and been making burgers since I was a kid, watching Seinfeld on a week. But I was making Murray's burgers back then, but I had my own seasoning blend, and that'll come into play later on as we get to the end of the story. But like, I was always a cook, man. Like, literally, my macaroni and cheese be in competitions and shit like that.
Damn,
they call
that's crazy.
Crack and cheese because it's so good. Like,
no fucking way. Damn.
So I always been a cook, but the burger thing came along, man. I had my son. He was born in 2018. I was actually working as a locations manager on a set, and one of the executive producers, man, was a person that owns a food business in the area. A cool, great guy, man. Right. And we were at his house. And, you know, I just having a moment of reflection, man. His son was outside washing. One of they fresh, like, Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and I just had a download in my mind. It was like, hey, bro, real life, man, like, you love film, but you got a son now. Like, you got to think more primal. Like, you can cook better than this motherfucker. Like, he a millionaire. Like, why the fuck ain't you come up with an idea? And those burgers ain't come to me at that moment. It was just, like, a slow process of, like, that seed was planted, and I just thinking what I could make. Should I make soul food, whatever? Then I don't know how, man, but I used to just make burgers like a lot of times at night for my ex-girlfriend, for my brothers when we lived together around 2019, 2020, and everybody's like, man, you should sell these shits. So then the idea was like, oh, this is it. The burgers is it. And at first it was called Your Boys Burgers. But
you cook it on demand, or like it'd be
I was just cooking it at the house at first. The idea was fun. It was Your Boy Burgers, but then my little brother, one of my little brothers, his name was Doughboy. He passed away, unfortunately, and I just was giving up on everything for a minute, just like fucked up, because it just fucked me up. Right. And got a download, but I'm sure it came from him. Right. It was like, don't give up. Change the color scheme, change everything, and name it Dough's Burgers, and that's who it was named after. And kicked it off in 2021. Started as a pop-up out of Northeast in my OG's warehouse, and we started from there. Went to a couple breweries. You know, it was popping, man. Like, my vision was coming to fruition, man. I was happy, man. I had you know, was doing good, man. Unfortunately, the partner I had at the time didn't see the vision like I did, and that's how business can go sometimes when it's not succinct. That's how anything can go when it's not succinct. Facts. So we had, you know, we had to shut down for a little bit, but I am happy to say that, like, it was a hard time, but like through being who I am, man, and just how things flow and the universe flow, like, just never giving up on the dream. Like, I'll do back up real soon, and I just leave it at that. Like, do back up real soon. So for anybody that, we had a nice little fan base. Anybody that wants the best smash burger in DC, by the end of the summer towards fall, you know, we'll be back up in a unique, beautiful way, which is a beautiful thing, man. Sometimes things happen to you, right? And I like to say, man, life happens for you, not to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that's ever happened to me, whether it's been losing somebody, losing money that universe hasn't recouped me equally or bountifully more. So, like, Yeah, those burgers is definitely my passion.
But that's real. I wanted you to also touch on the seasoning you were saying. So what was it about that seasoning?
While I was trying to figure out like how to make my burger different as I was in the lab doing shit, there's like a couple things I landed on, and then it just like I like to call them downloads, man. From Spirit just came to me, was like, nigga, you been making burgers your whole life. Why you trying to be different? Like, what made you fall in love with burgers? So then I was like, remember the old seasoning I used to make when I was a kid, and I whipped it up, and it was like, this is it.
This is it. I've been at it.
Like, nah, bro. Like, I wish I had them right here. Right. It's one of them experiences where I'm a burger connoisseur. I'm a foodie in general, but burgers is one of them things that I'm like a connoisseur about. Okay. Like, no matter where I'm at, I'm a try a burger. Like, all the best top 10 burgers list, I try them all. And I ain't lying, bro. Like,
top 3 best burger spots DMV. I already know number 1.
Yeah. Burgers. Okay, so yesterday I just had Red Apron. That drink tight.
Red Apron. Is that a delivery service?
It's one at the Pennsylvania Avenue. That the one it's open every day. It's like at a little food court joint called the Roost.
Okay.
That joint was good. I just had it yesterday. That joint was good. Les Diplomat is okay.
Okay.
To be honest with you, man, even though it's a chain, Shake Shack is consistently good. It's a good burger.
Okay.
Five Guys is up there. I mean, it's burgers out there, man.
Yeah, for sure.
The number 1 burger is that the Washington Post race is a dude named Steve's Burger. I haven't had his burger, but I'm sure it's good.
Okay.
Yeah. But ain't none of them fucking with me, though.
Nah, for sure. Nah,
every time somebody eat one of our burgers, they say, what I always look for when somebody eat any of my food, especially burgers, I always look for that pause. Like, right. Eat your burger, they just lean back and just look at you and be
got
like,
study. They study why this shit tastes so good?
Nah, we be back though.
Yeah. Nah, I love a good burger, dog. There was definitely a time when I was like on the hunt for like the best, like trying to do like a little let me try to find the best burger in Maryland type
shit. The safest go-tos you could ever have. Nigga, you always gonna be satisfied. Like, nigga, to be honest, having a burger and that shit not hitting is kind of crazy. I'd be like, yo,
as
y'all
far
niggas
as
is red flag. Like,
as far as chains go, what do y'all think are some of like the best burgers? As far as chains go,
like you said, like Five Guys is up there.
Yeah.
Shake Shack, I could literally count my hands how many times I've been to Shake Shack.
I've probably been to Shake Shack like twice, to be honest.
The burger that changed my life was 2010, my first time in California with my homeboy, J-Boy. Used to have me everywhere. And we went to California and I tasted In-N-Out. And I did the thing where I stopped and I looked at him and I was like, hey, bro, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, man.
And I really ate that shit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner my whole time out there.
I remember.
Came back home.
That animal sauce.
Because my burgers back in the day used to be fat burgers. And I came back home, was on a mission, like, how do I make that smash burger?
Right.
I found out it was like a Midwest style thing. And ever since then, I was making them.
Yeah.
And it's just been growing. That was a long time.
In-N-Out, it's so crazy because come to find out, that's actually polarizing too. A lot of people like, fuck that. And I'm like, yo, y'all crazy. I'm like, that shit really was a distinct chain burger. I said, bro, ain't no burger tastes like this.
It is the fries too. Like, I've had In-N-Out burger like a couple times. And
you don't like it?
Nah, it's not that I don't like it. It's like it's not all that to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not even like a tough judge of burgers either. But like, as far as chains go, it was cool. It was cool, but like, yeah, I like as far as chains go, I like a Five Guys type of burger, like BGR type of joint, where it's like it seemed like a burger.
Greasy,
you know what I'm saying?
Please, I need.
Not even. It's not so much I like the grease of the joint. I like a big burger though. You know what I'm saying? Like I like a burger that'll fill you up. You know what I'm saying? Not like a McDonald's burger. Not like McDonald's burgers got all kind of sizes. McDonald's got all kind of sizes of burgers. But you know what I mean? Like not really like an In-N-Out burger. I feel like an In-N-Out burger is like a little burger ish. You know what I'm saying?
Some people don't like the size of our burgers because it's intentionally made to be a little smaller.
But that's like a smash burger, right?
Yeah.
So but I fuck with smash burgers. Like I fuck with Smash Burger. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with another joint. I fuck with is BurgerFi. Have y'all ever had BurgerFi?
Man, this is what I'm saying, bro. That's why I cannot wait to be a millionaire. All these places you naming, I don't know if they.
You got a better burger than them,
bro?
Yeah,
it's not even a fucking. Bro, it's like this, bro.
That's why I said specifically chain burgers because there are a lot of like small like places that got solid burgers too, but they be all kinds of different.
Burger and they burger is that like look at me. I'm making this shit.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like, imagine like that's just how that's all I could say, bro. Just imagine like your grandma's cooking and somebody else's grandma cooking.
Yeah.
Your grandma cooking is good. The soul is in there, bro. Like
Right.
I ain't just saying it because it's me, but it's
Yeah.
like, bro.
I definitely, I so want to try one of your burgers,
nah,
bro. Like
100%.
to be honest with you.
And I feel like that's the type of shit though, and let me know how you feel about it. Like you can control that as long as it's a one location or you gotta come here, right? The minute you go franchise it, it's kind of like, yo, y'all niggas.
Is
need
but
to
is
stay
there a
to
way
T,
to like
you know?
from with in your brain, like with your culinary mind, is there a way that you could really franchise something and keep the quality of it
So
and keep the taste of it? Is there like is that could you really do that?
Yeah, I think the whole thing is slow, patient growth, right? And to be honest, man, like when we talk about any business, like if you've never done it before, you gotta emulate yourself after somebody. Five Guys was started right here at Arlington, Virginia. I modeled everything at the Five Guys, just not the way I cook my food, my flavor, but the way they do their business model, all that. They not public. When you go public is when you lose a lot of control. You got shareholders. That's when you start getting the funky ass shit in your menu, using different stuff. But Five Guys, slow growth, organic growth. They, franchise owner. That's how you do it. You got to get a franchise owner that, like, you can't just have somebody just franchising and passing it off. Like, they have to be in the business just as you. You got to look them in the eye and understand this is a brand. Anything you building is about building it from the ground up and building the culture. Like,
because somebody could buy the franchise and totally outsource it, and it's like I ain't gonna be there. I just gonna put employees
so
up
you have
in
to
there.
write it in your bylaws. Like, man, before I even cooked one burger, man, we got a handbook. Like, it's about the culture for me, bro. Like, the tagline for the business is quality food that the family can afford. Because while Five Guys is good, Shake Shack is good. Like, I don't feel like a family of four should have to pay $100 for or $80 for to get some meals. So our shit is specifically priced at a certain price point to where people can afford it, man. So like, and with a good quality, man. So that's what it's all about for me. But you can keep the quality. You just got to be slow about your growth, I believe, and be dedicated to the original mission, bro. And make sure you have owners, operators that keep that vision, bro.
No, that's real. That's definitely real.
Yeah, that's facts. I think when it's very interesting because I feel like cooking in its sense has a story too. Not even to tie it like all together type shit,
Cooking
but like I feel like cooking got like even how you kind of told your story of how you got into cooking. You know what I'm saying? It's a very I feel like everybody has their kind of like story of why they got into cooking because I feel like to a degree most people who know how to cook or like who feel confident in cooking, it's like they just have done it for whatever their like specific reason is. They just have done it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a lot of people feel like it's something that you can't like if you don't do it, you can't learn it. You know what I'm saying? Which is
you got to do it.
Kind of crazy.
You got to learn from mistakes.
Which is like we were saying everything.
And I feel like that's really the kind of like the motto of this show, right? Like, yo, just jump into it, you know? Like, even how you were saying with the school, and it's like, yo, the shit I really learned was all through, like, the most, like, sure, we get learning from all types of places, but you're never going to learn, like, until just jumping in 2 feet into the water and seeing what's what.
This shit going to be tight, though. This whole little setup y'all got, it's going to be tight. Because not to be like that, man. Well, no, to be like that. Like, man, I've been, like, a couple months ago, man, I just was daydreaming. Like, man, I want to be on the podcast. Sitting down.
For real.
Man, look at that, man.
Like talking. And and in my mind, it's vision, like, after I've done all this shit.
Right.
Like, after I've done this, I'm going to be sitting there talking about this. But then it was like, you doing stuff now. So, it's kind of like, be who you want to be now and always. And it's like, we here in this moment, like, and this is I appreciate y'all having me here. It's like a feel-good moment just to be able to sit here and tell a portion of your story and to know that I'll be back. I got like 100,000.
Yeah, facts.
100%, bro. Of course, bro. And that's the thing, man. Like, cause we've definitely had a few guests. Even initially when I told them to come on the show, they had no reservations of coming on. But sometimes they'd be like, "Yo, bro, like, I ain't never really talked this shit." I'm like, bro, talk on what you know. Like, that's really why it is that we come in. And then it's like every time after the show, people kind of be like, "Yo, damn." Yeah, that was smooth. Like, I was like, yeah, bro, because when you really kind of forget that, cameras rolling, so it's a conversation about what the fuck your expertise at. You could talk about this shit all day if we let this shit go. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the ironic thing about it.
That's fast. We got. I'm interested in y'all thoughts because tonight.
Yes, sir.
Tonight we got
the Mavericks.
The Mavericks
And the Wolves game 1.
I don't know if I can't remember
Parlays
being
place.
this excited about.
Right.
I can't remember being this excited about a series in a long time, bro.
And even how we was talking initially, like even though I'm definitely more amped about the West than the Eastern matchup right now, even though the East gonna be some parity. It's just a fresh new vibe for the NBA. Look at all the teams that's still left, man.
Yeah.
We don't have the legacy teams of this past decade.
Facts.
It's all fresh blood.
Yeah.
And for the past, the whole playoffs, we had a whole group of teams like, yo, you don't see these teams usually in the playoffs. So I really
I guess outside of the Celtics, you know what I'm saying? Like outside the Celtics, but that's like a Celtics team that you want to see them win it. So it's like I'm glad to see them keep trying. You know what I'm saying?
But now that pressure.
But it's like now, I'm like, this is really like y'all fourth time. It's like y'all fourth run with this core. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really interested on that side now, and then even looking at how that game kind of played out with the Pacers and the Celtics, looking at how that game kind of played out, that shit might be tougher than they think. You know what I'm saying? Not to think that I don't know how they were looking at the Pacers, but I thought that was going to be more of a competitive. But it looked like the Pacers were going to win that game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Outside of a really tough shot, it looked like the Pacers was about to win that game.
The one thing I'll say about the Pacers is at least they whole, the kind of the mantra of their playoffs is like they've been playing desperation ball for a majority of the playoffs. Where
Didn't they
have been cruising.
Did they win the in-season tournament?
Yeah, they did. But I'm saying their playoff.
No.
They've had.
They didn't win it. They went.
No, they lost.
They went to the final.
They lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they beat the Bucks and they went 5-1 against them in the regular season. So it was crazy because when the playoffs came around. And then, obviously
it
the
looked
injuries came. But people were like, yo, the Bucks going to take. I'm like, yo, bro. The one thing I was saying about a lot of these teams are like, bruh, who they are is exactly like
who they are.
Like, bruh, the Wolves. A lot of people were saying, bruh, they started this season top. It
was 1-2 between them and OKC.
A lot of niggas was like,
season.
bro, Nas, Cap, Rudy Gobert. No. But when you see in the playoffs, it's like, bro, this team is exactly who you seen.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that we're starting to realize is we've been married to these names of the league for a while. It's a transition happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we came up on the Hardens. Look at the Clippers. The Clippers team in itself is a representation of, bro, this is a first ballot Hall of Fame lineup here.
Yeah.
But literally, the sun is kind of setting on even day days.
Yeah.
Right? And now there's these other players, these are the new superstars of the league. You got to get accustomed to that.
Facts.
They ain't kind of new now. They've been here 3-4 years. I'm like, bro, I'm here.
And facts.
I'm the guy.
Because I'm even looking at, Tyrese Halliburton, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like Kyrie is, the one that's, been there, but he's still, playing at the top of his game. Where as far as I don't want to say elder statesman, he's not like an elder statesman, but as far as those guys who have been here for at least a decade, you know what I'm saying?
No, you know what's
but you want to see him in this position. At least I do.
That's the perfect way that you called it, because I say the one thing about Kyrie, even though he been blowing me with sometimes his score output, he literally been playing so many other roles for them.
Yeah.
His defense, he's really locking up. He's really facilitating, getting them assists, and he'll be on some, do we need some scoring?
Yeah, and then he'll score. I'll
score real quick, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely think this series, these niggas strapped. You're going to have to put
Timberwolves?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And the thing is, too, the role player's going to have to come through.
Yeah.
Because Anthony and McDaniel,
PJ Washington, you're going to need to see Tim Hardaway Jr. Is Tim Hardaway Jr. hurt?
He is. I feel
like he played in the game a couple days ago.
I didn't see him on the line. I don't think I see him on the alts.
Yeah. But you're going to need something from Gafford and PJ Washington and stuff like that.
Definitely going to need something from PJ Washington.
And Rudy Gobert and Cat is on their side. They critical because I'm like, bro, it's Lively and Gafford.
Yeah.
It's going to be hell for, I ain't going to lie. This is all on the Timberwolves big man. Make this series for real.
Yeah.
They don't have nobody that can check Luka. They were specifically built to beat the Denver Nuggets.
You're right.
And they did the job. But I mean,
You don't think they got nobody for Luka?
They don't.
Alexander.
Well, they gonna check him, but can they check Luka?
I mean, you do what you can. He's a player that you do what you can with.
You forget how big Luka is, so you can't say Ant can't.
No, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
The thing about Luka, what's really is crazy about him is like at 6'8", and the way he played, nobody dictates his pace for him. Like he dictated. And that's the crazy thing too. It's like, bro, I can play 40 feet from the basket. I post you up on the block. And all meanwhile, I be the main ball handler of this shit, distributed and all that. So it's a tough. The thing what you said, you can try to make it hard for him, but I feel like Luka's been off. It's a matter of time where he's like, yo, bro, it's time to like flip that switch. And the same thing with Kyrie for real. I'm like, that's the matchup.
With that being said, I still think, and I got the Timberwolves winning the whole thing, just simply because of how they built. Like, defensive player of the year, sixth man of the year.
Yeah.
You got other players that's like first defensive, second defensive team.
100%.
First defensive All-NBA.
Yeah.
Really crazy.
Like,
Jaden McDaniels really.
Jaden McDaniels, yeah, he can guard Luka
in a lot of positions, man. Then Ant, man,
He gonna be the one.
Yeah, he can guard Luka.
He's 6'9".
Yeah,
so he's crazy.
Ant, man, coming through, man. I will say this though about Dallas, man. I really am proud of Kyrie, like very mature. Like
100%.
Facts.
A lot of people count him out, think he was gonna be able to work, like,
100%.
especially in Dallas. Like,
Facts.
like with Marquis as the owner and Luke as the star.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good place. Like that's a good place for him to be.
It's so-
and that's a good team. Like the team is. I mean, the Mavericks are a team that has been consistently good. Like they might have some down years, but like you know what I'm saying. Like they're always in They're not always, but like every 3 or 4 years they make a good run. You know what I'm saying?
Will always live in our heart because they gave us all that one. If you wasn't a Miami Heat fan, which
facts.
That one like punch.
We got it.
Yeah, facts. Dirk got himself solidified his Hall of Fame career.
And the thing is, if you remember a little bit back, it's kind of like in probably like 5 years earlier to that, they went 67-15 with Avery Johnson, and the Warriors bounced them out first round. So it was kind of like, you know, we see Mavericks and the Spurs were those teams, like, you know, everybody like to glam. Spurs fuck around, got 5 rings and went to the playoffs 20 straight years. Mavericks, low key, even though they got 1, were in the playoffs.
They're in the decades.
But when Nowitzki retired, and that little, you know, Luka just coming, that was their little down spell. Like, they some shit for real.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, and that is, shout out to the franchises, like, you know, because that is
Cuban has been there for the whole regime. You know what I'm saying?
And he finally, like, he still retained his GM powers, but he finally sold that. He like,
facts.
Transition to the new rules and shit. So now that's just
damn. So you think? So I don't know. Like I don't know if this is like public knowledge or not, but like, is he like hands off? Is he more hands off, or is this thing he just don't own?
Exactly. So now he sold his majority ownership, but he still has
the same responsibilities. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, because he still be at like the games.
He wasn't replaced. Like, he ain't get replaced. Yeah. Like, I don't need it.
Nah, that's facts. That's tough. Yeah. I don't know what the you can cash out on the bread.
Yeah,
on the investment.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I was trying to think like, what's the benefit? No, but like, obviously, Now I'm just having fun.
Who y'all picks? Who y'all picks to win it all?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. It's hard to go against Minnesota, but because everybody is on Minnesota, I don't want to say, but also like I think the South, like to me. I want to see the Celtics do it this year. You know what I'm saying? But I also want to see Anthony Edwards do it this year. Like I can't help but root for the guy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a Laker fan.
But I also want to see Kyrie and Luka win one. Like that would be cool too.
Be cool with me.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
But as far as who I think is actually going to do it, I think the Timberwolves because their defense is so legitimate. You know what I'm saying? Like they say defense wins championships. Like that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's real.
That's very real.
And I like when, to be honest, I like when small market teams win. Like I really like that because it just kind of speaks to like, yo, bro, we built the team up.
Yeah.
You know, not know off the names or anything like that. And I'm kind of glad too that we kind of even, you know, we transitioned out of even a super team era. It's kind of like, bro, you got to build your team right.
Yeah.
The names.
But we don't have the dominance no more of like, I'm not saying this is a good or bad thing. I'm just saying like there's something that's also different is like there's not a dominance from one team as far as like winning one or like winning like 2 and 3 years, or you know what I'm saying?
This is what I would say. I'd say
back to backs even.
I'd say you're right, but it's because the Warriors were that team and they set a new precedent, and like even the whole style of play, they kind of are responsible in a large part to how this game is. So that dominant team will come in the coming years.
Yeah.
But you're right. As of this moment, and kind of the conversation, we had a conversation even on the previous episode. We were talking about, it's so funny, the face of the league was always a given in years past.
Yeah.
You had to, from before Jordan, it was Magic and Bird. Went to Jordan.
You never had to discuss it.
After Jordan, it was Kobe. After Kobe, it's LeBron. Like, we not really having too much debate. And sure, in the middle, sure, Steph has this time and all. There's players that have their time, but the overall players, like, this is a player to mark the time. After LeBron, you like,
Who's
is
it
it
gonna be?
is now everybody want to say, is it Anthony's? Is it Tatum's? Is it Lucas?
That's
Is
the
it
conversation right now.
that's the thing? And I'm like, this is
a shared thing more than just
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we was
Facts,
kind of
facts.
saying. It's like it's no longer correlated with the best player, because I would say to me the best player is Jokic personally. But I'm like,
He don't want that face
he
of
not
the league thing.
exactly just because
That's
you're
the
the
weird
best.
part, yeah.
Don't exactly. And now that's like the little Pandora box broken. You don't gotta be the best. I don't think Anthony Edwards is better than a Luka Doncic. I don't think Anthony Edwards is better than a Jason Tatum personally. But personally,
I mean,
but
to
I
me,
don't think that means he can't be the face of the league over him.
what's interesting is, to me, I feel like when you're at that level of eliteness, like that, when you're on that tier in the NBA, to me, it's hard to say who's like actually better than who. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for me to say like Jason Tatum is better than Anthony Edwards, and it's also hard for me to say that Anthony Edwards is better than Jason Tatum. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, they're just better than the competition on any given night. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually they're the best player on the floor when they're on the floor. Usually, you know what I'm saying?
I think I feel you. I guess the thing where like I'm if I lean, what would make me lean to more towards your side is like when we do talk about intangibles, that's the shit that can't be measured, and that's the shit that really do play a real part of things. So no matter how I might say what somebody got in their tool set, their skill box, what they're capable of, that intangible shit is a multiplier. And it's like, it could look good, like, but in this like Anthony Edwards, like if we talk about
like if one person dropped 24, another person dropped 36, it don't mean the person that dropped 36 is better than the person that dropped 24.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. It's real. That's
when
real.
them buckets came and how it
How they came.
And what do you do when you're not doing that? If I'm not scoring, how else can I even unpack? Like, damn.
So
that's the reason why I don't believe in Boston, because not to be like that, but Tatum, man, it's just something about him. Is just
I hear you.
He's good, but it's like, if you ask me who I want preference wise, it's like, you can't say Anthony Edwards is better than him, but we all know and can see Anthony Edwards got that dog, and
100%, man.
no matter,
100%.
that's just how it go.
100%.
I feel like, what are you looking for? Because I'm thinking Tatum. I feel like I do see a dog in him, but I don't see like I don't see the same dog that I see in Anthony Edwards, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is I feel like, and I'm gonna try to break it because I know I hear you. The play is dominant, but he himself is not like a dominant.
He don't have a dominant presence.
And
you know what I'm
the
saying?
thing about the Celtics, and this is the funny thing, the dominant, like that leader, that person that really rallies the troops.
Jaylen Brown.
This is the thing. This is the funny thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be the best player.
Yeah.
And the thing I say about the Celtics, what they lost was Marcus Smart was that.
Yeah.
And prior to him, Ime Udoka was that.
Yeah.
The coach can also be that.
Yeah.
It's not always the case. So they lost two leaders.
Yeah.
And I definitely thought with the Marcus Smart, I thought the additions, it'd be better. You have Drew
Holiday,
Kristaps. And as capable as players as they are, personality-wise, you did not gain like vocal leaders or things like. You got people that are gonna perform.
Yeah.
We're gonna play our best, but your best players are kind of like really quiet guys.
Yeah.
We show you with our ball, so the ISO ball, when it's going, you're like, my God, they so crazy. But when they're off, like all players get off, it's kind of like, damn, y'all just really just be shooting. It's your turn.
And there's no like somebody rallying them together. You know what I'm saying? Kind of getting them on the same page.
For Warriors.
Yeah.
That was that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's what it is, but it makes a big difference.
But I don't know. I think when we talk about the shared face of the league, I don't know if I think it's going to be shared as much as I think it's just going to become someone. You know what I'm saying? Like it seems like we're gonna just pick Anthony. We're all kind of starting to just pick Anthony Edwards. You know what I'm saying?
Over the next 3 years or so,
if he wins a title, that's going to be crazy for that. Like, that's probably going to be that. But that's until we just decide, like, oh, well, we want to pick somebody else.
But if Luka win a title, into the conversation.
Yeah.
If Tatum win it, into the if anybody wins these titles, they into the
because
conversation.
Tatum, I see on TV all the time now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I always see Tatum on the commercial.
See him on the commercials. Be real. Is it like does it feel?
It be dry. It be dry.
But that's it. Do be dry. But that's the thing. But the fact that they're putting him on TV is like they're trying to.
But I'm like, bro, why I still don't?
Yeah.
You all on the TV. I still don't believe it.
Yeah.
Before he was even a thing on the court like that in the NBA, Anthony Edwards was in the Hustle.
The little movie.
Oh no, yeah, I do remember that joke.
Natural.
Yeah, Adam Sandler joint.
Adam Sandler told Dan Patrick was like, "Yo, Dan Patrick is like a famous sports
the broadcaster,
radio show, Hall of Famer."
For sure.
Told him this kid got charisma, and Dan was talking about it, and then it just came to fruition. So it's kind of like one of them things like, you can't make some things you just built. So like, I think whether it right now it's shared and we don't know what's going to happen, but like to your point. If we guessing and just surmising like who it's going to be, it's looking like it's going to be him. Championship or not, like he already can be a movie
it's house
star,
money now, right?
Charisma, look at him just naturally being himself. I like it.
And it was Ja. It was John Morant. That's the funny thing.
It was looking like it could have been him.
My mind.
It was looking like
it was him, and he wasn't the best player, but it was like, yo, bro, he could be the face. He to put the kids, they love him and all that. You looking at the height, that's something. It looks like it's attainable.
Yeah.
Oh, I could do that too, but it's like.
And this nigga, his Ja Morant's like highlight reel is also just like crazy. Like some of the plays he's made, some of the plays he's made in the NBA are like insane. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But with what we was talking about, like with Anthony Edwards, I feel like you'll see him on TV more like in candid shit. Yeah, obviously he's got the movie, he's got like commercials and stuff like that. But you'll also see him a lot in like his press conferences will go viral or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like this. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he's got that over Tatum, but Tatum is the person that I was saying that you see him on TV in these commercials more than like any other NBA player right now, which kind of shows that he's getting because he don't got the like you said, it does kind of seem forced in the commercials, but that's kind of showing that it's like it's set up for him to like
you gotta take it, but it's set up for you to get it.
It's like the pins are out, he just gotta knock him down type shit. You know what I'm saying?
He played for Boston Celtics, one of the premier franchises.
There you go. He's the best player on historic team. On
always gonna be a thing.
100%.
Speaking of that, the one team I don't want to win is Indiana Pacers. I think
that would look crazy, but I feel like they got some kind of dog in them too, though. Like as a team, I don't want. Yeah, I mean, you said you wanted a small market to win.
Yeah. But actually, but that
not
shit
that
would
one.
Be, that would be shit episode.
Indiana is the worst state in the union.
I'm weak.
Top 5 worst states. Like,
oh my God, yo! Shout out to
I'm weak.
Indiana, my fault, y'all.
Have you been there?
Have I been there? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's like a really bad state to be in.
Shout out Naptown.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me tell you.
Shout out
no disrespect to Naptown. We got a lot of people in Naptown. Naptown, y'all like the little oasis.
Yeah.
That is good in Indiana.
Right.
No, yes, I've been there. I ride through there. I don't want to stop there no more.
Yeah,
Indiana has a sign on their roads that says reckless driving over a certain certain speed limit.
Yeah.
6 years in jail or $6,000 fine. So my black ass know that 6 years in jail ain't for everybody. That's every time I hit Indiana, it's a flat state.
Yeah.
I just turn my speed right on the speed limit and just cruise.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. But ARad, what you got going on like these days? What you got coming up that you want people to know about?
Well, I work with a crew by the name of Indigo Republic. Sometimes we go to Monica Gen 1. We do films. My director, I am Lady Reds, Ryan Jordan, my producer Marissa. We just been working on films, and we just shot a comedy show, a pilot in California at the end of the year, last year. getting it edited right now. We did a comedy show in DC based off of a part of the show. We just be working, man. Like we working on a lot of things, bro. Like we stay working on like little commercials. The films come like once or twice a year. The next film I have coming up be at the bottom of the year. With that same crew, you know, we just working, man. That's all. Like, you got to stay busy and just try to stay active, man. And like I said, those will be back up soon. But like, yeah, man. As far as social media, ARad_those is my tag. I don't be on there like that. I mean, social media is cool, and I know you need it, but like, I just be out here trying to live organically.
Facts.
But you're plugging with the dough burger too. When you start getting that shit popping, at least they go follow that shit.
Oh yeah. So those burgers, you can just follow that. It's DOUGHS burgers. You can follow that on IG. Yeah, man. And look for the any coming updates, man.
For sure.
I appreciate y'all having me here.
Appreciate you coming through, bro.
For sure.
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
Always.
We're gonna see y'all next week.
For sure.
Early.